Luka needs more self-respect by fictional overthinking. Hi, this is my first video on my channel. Technically, I wrote it a while ago, right before I got access to Mr. Grass. As this is my first video, I decided I can wait to post it whenever I am ready, as I plan to continue to post once I get started. As I heard Mr. Grass was going to be about Luka, I decided to share my points about understanding Luka's personality and flaws right before I watched it. Little did I know that the new episode was about many of the things I was saying anyway. By the way, if you have not watched the show, there will definitely be spoilers for seasons 1 through 5 and the first 9 episodes released in season 6. So, I highly suggest watching the show first, as it is so amazing. Some context, if you do not mind spoilers. The story follows the two 13 to 14-year-olds, Marinette and Adrian, from Paris as they fight off supervillains as Ladybug and Cat Noir and develop their love story. Luca is the one other character Marinette has dated throughout the show. They broke up pretty quickly, though. Luca first appears as someone who's very collected, wise, and selfless. But something feels off about him as I keep watching episodes about him. Luca is always sacrificing his own interests for others. These always seem like good things at first, but when seeing him do this so many times, it starts to feel like he does not know how to value himself well. This is especially true when it comes to romance. First, Luca and Marinette hit it off in Captain Hard Rock, and he confesses his love for her in Silencer twice. At this point, he seems to know what he values and is pursuing a possible romance. Then it gets weirder. The episode Felix is the first time I noticed this. In this episode, Luca realizes, or at least lets Marinette know he knows, that Marinette is in love with Adrian. He tells her that he will be happy for her if she chooses Adrian, but will always be there for her. It seems good at first. How else is he going to maybe be with her? In a way, he's a foil to Cat Noir. When Ladybug repeatedly tells Cat Noir she's in love with someone else, he does not respect her boundaries and refuses to stop asking her, hoping she'll change her mind. This is a textbook definition of workplace sexual harassment, by the way. She says she does not want to date him, that it's final, as no means no. Luke is the opposite, where he does tell the person he loves them, but also understands if she does not want to date him. But what is weird is that he says something along the lines of he will always be there if it does not work out with Adrian, basically saying that he would completely be fine however she treats him. Anyway, isn't it normal to not want to be someone's backup choice when dating? I do not know much as I have never dated, but I noticed that Lucas phrased it oddly, especially since I'm pretty sure this episode comes after Silencer, meaning has already told Marinette he's interested in her. Saying he's just always available is weird because we have to let others know we have feelings too. Otherwise, people will take us for granted. What I think is a better thing Luca could say is something along the lines of, I would like to date you, but I understand if you want someone else. Obviously, that is too literal, but the idea is that in this new version, he's showing that he wants something without putting any pressure on Marinette. In his original version, he's saying that she can do whatever she wants and that it will not hurt him, as if he's not a person too. Cat Noir forgets about Ladybug's feelings in his moments, while Luca makes other people forget about his feelings in his moments. I think saying and doing things like that is what caused problems in Luca and Marinette's relationship in the future. Marinette and Luca then get together in Heart Hunters, and Marinette treats him horribly. This is not her fault, though. As you can see in the Miraculous World special in New York, she really tried to be a girlfriend. She just wasn't ready for it, and was still going through terms of figuring out her feelings about Adrian and dealing with this being a superhero 24/7. While they were not together that long, Luca never said anything about how she was treating him. I do not think he should shame her for it, but he should at least ask her to do something that does not hurt his feelings for it. When he finally does get upset over her not telling him her secret, he does seem to put himself first a little bit, but this feeds into another pattern I'll mention later. More situations happen later in Crocodile, but all Luca did in that episode was say how he felt while in the background. Thus, he was not too important in that episode, so I do not think Crocodile is too important to discuss. Then, in Wishmaker, Luca finds out both Ladybug's and Cat Noir's secret identities. Luca decides to not reveal he knows. This shocked me when I first saw this. Like, how could he not tell Ladybug? Then I realized that he was trying to help her. He wanted her to be able to be with Adrian, as he knew they both loved each other, and also knew that if Ladybug knew he knew she was Marinette, she might try to go out with him again. You could say that this is good because was he to get in the way of a much stronger relationship that is constantly stopped by external means like secret identities? But can't he go after what he wants? Like I said before, doing selfless actions like this once or twice is a good thing for many reasons. But when it becomes a pattern, it can suggest otherwise. Anyway, an episode I forgot the name of in season five. I find it really hard to remember the names of season five episodes. It was the one with the wax statues. Determination. Yeah, the one with the same name as Undertale. Anyway, Luca helps Marinette and Adrian get together by being close to Marinette so that Adrian can feel jealous and get more in touch with his emotions. Anyway, I cannot imagine how hard it is for him to be hugging Marinette as if they're dating, but just to help her find a different boyfriend. That in migration, Luca starts the episode by helping people sort out their emotions. Some people call him a therapist friend, but the thing is, he's not a therapist. It's not his job to help everyone, especially when several people ask him for advice about dating people close for him, and Marinette asks him for advice about dating Adrian. She instantly feels guilty, but Luca quickly reassures her and says she did not break his heart but enrich it. I'm sorry, but that can't be true. It has to be at least both. By the way, I am personally American and know that French relationship norms are different from American ones. I do not know much, but from watching Emily in Paris, I do not think Luca's behavior is normal. It's a joke, by the way. I cannot understand a whole culture from just a single TV show. Later, that episode, Luca gives up his life to move to Brazil uh, to keep their secret identity safe. This is an incredibly selfish action, and that seems like a good thing. But there's something wrong with this. I feel like is he's kind of losing himself for a way. What are his goals? I remember learning about the concept of men writing women, and one of the things that's really bad is making it so that female characters only react and do not act. In general, I really love it when characters drive the story forward and have a hard time liking those that don't. To give examples of characters I do not like for these reasons across several stories. That's I generally do not like comic relief characters because they generally do not drive the story forward. This is one of the reasons I like Marinette, though. She's very comedic, but she also always makes choices that impact the story. Obviously, Luca is not female, and the show did not do any bad writing. This is a planned out choice of what makes Luca a full character with flaws. The thing is, Luca makes it hard for the audience to know what his motivations are. Just feel like a lot of the conflict regarding his choices were just lacking emotional stakes in this episode, as well as many others. Usually, when it does not have emotional stakes, Lu- Luca usually when it does have emotional stakes, Luca does not do much and lets either his friends or his akumatized self solve the problem. I feel like this shows a lot about him. When it is something personal to him, he's not active in achieving the goals. Yeah, when it is about someone else's problems, he is usually much more active in achieving them. So just to be a little bit more clear, thing is whenever it's something that's a problem that's not personal to him, he's generally very active in helping solve the problem. But when the problem is personal to him and about his life, he's generally very passive in achieving the goals and lets other people do it for him. Yes. Now let's get back a season to Desperado. Uh, back in season four. I really did not like this episode, and Marinette's behavior made me cringe. The thing is, though, that despite all that craziness, Luca constantly went along with whatever anyone said. He never really made any decision on his own that episode. Even though this was the episode where he got his miraculous, I learned nothing new about him that I did not already know. He does make a lot of decisions on his own, and Captain Hard Rock and Silencer. Oh, truth again. Then, in truth, he does make decisions and expresses wanting Marinette to tell him everything, despite her privacy. But the way he goes about it makes it feel more about Marinette than it is about him. What does he want for himself outside of his relationships with everyone else? And he doesn't even bring up the fact that he was being mistreated, only just that one issue of not knowing that information. He does the same things like these in several other episodes. Comparisons. Now I'll compare Luca to other characters who have been in similar positions to Luca who I think acted in a healthier way. Kagami, Julika, Adrian, and Alex. Kagami has also had the experience of dating slash being in love slash thinking she is in love with a full-time superhero who did not always treat her the best. The episode lies. She tries to be the active partner in the relationship. She ends the relationship with Adrian, and she decides that she is not seeking him for a while. In Frozen, she helps Marinette up when she fell over, despite the other things going on in the episode that you're not feeling explaining. Despite her, while her decisions are not always perfect and she can be manipulated, she makes a decision and goes for her goal, her way. And also, she is not willing to let someone not treat her well. And Adrian was not valuing her and lies. She decided to stick to her boundaries and exit the relationship. She does try again with Adrian a couple months later, but that is mostly due to manipulation from her mom and Lila. Julika. Julika grew up in the same environment as Luca, as they are twins. Their mom has incredibly strong opinions. When we were young, we were very smart, just in a different way than we are when we are older. Our intelligence when we are younger is more about learning, while our intelligence when we are older is more about executive functioning. We also tend to be wiser when we get older, but not necessarily. When we are young, we learn whatever methods are best to survive in our environment. Thus, when a parent or guardian has strong opinions, but in an intense way like Anarcha does, we would likely grow to not have many opinions, or at least not be as aware of them. This is not to say Anarcha is a bad parent per se. I plan to do more analysis on her later and will reach my conclusion then. Anyway, Julika is also like Luca in that she is not good at going after what she wants. For her, though, she is often more expressive of what she wants, at least in the audience, but not always the other characters, meaning she is likely more aware of it. She is worse at sticking up for what she wants, though. We've seen many episodes about her growth, but Luca has yet to have one of these. Adrian. Adrian has also dated Marinette. The similarities show up most in the episode Illustrator. Marinette does similar things to Adrian that she did to Luca in Truth, but this time it is more about anxiety than duty. If it was duty, Adrian would also have had to leave. While Adrian does not always give her the benefit of the doubt. Uh, I misspoke. While Adrian does give her the benefit of the doubt, lets her do this, and is self-sacrificing, he expresses his emotions to Marinette, to the server of the cafe, and to the audience. Unlike Luca, who just asked for Marinette to tell a secret, Adrian approaches Marinette and tries to figure out how they can fix their relationship in a sweet and romantic way. Alex. Finally, Alex's similarity with Luca is obvious. They both had to give up their lives to protect something, with Lucas with Luca's sacrifice being more necessary. The difference was Luca just did it without even thinking, while Alex expressed how she does not want to leave her family and made sure that everyone knew she was doing them a favor. She still made the best out of it, though. The thing about relationships, whether platonic or romantic, is to never take yourself for granted because then everyone else will. This is probably not something they are intentionally doing if they're a good person, but if we always give up our own needs for them, they will forget that we have needs. Thus, it is important to phrase things differently. For instance, if someone asks to borrow a chair instead of here, you can have it, we can say, oh, it's okay, you can have it. Obviously, that's a little bit of a extreme difference, but this shows that we are going out of our way for them. In Luca's case, no one is valuing him, and this is because he is not recognizing his own value and recognizing the value of his needs. What I always hear in any crisis response training, it's really into that stuff the summer after ninth grade, is to always take care of ourselves first because we can't take care of others if we are compromised. But all, Luca is a really good person, but there's still several areas where we can grow. We've not seen much of him since he moved to Brazil, so maybe this life experience could be good for him, or maybe not. I know he is technically a guardian now. I'm not sure how this will affect him in the future. I've yet to watch the episode Mr. Grass, as it only just came out on Disney Plus as of the time of making this video. So I'm about to watch it to see how Luca changed during his time in Brazil. I have heard that he now has a girlfriend in this episode, but do not know anything else in order to avoid spoilers. I am not sure how I feel about having a new romantic partner for him. While maybe this person could be good for him, I'm not sure he is ready for this yet. I'm worried he will just fall into the same patterns he did with Marinette. Hi, I'm back. I just watched Mr. Grass, and oh my god, it was amazing. It has officially beat The Ruler as my new favorite episode of the season. But it's much less romantic, though. I mean, it's not like there are any episodes of this season I do not like so far. The show is so well written, everything was very planned out, and has so much meaning and significance packed into it. So the issues I discussed with Luca are a lot more pronounced in this episode, and Luca is clearly broken due to everything I said. While he is more aware and expressive of his emotions, as well as making choices in this episode, he is clearly not coping well at all and made probably the worst choice for his mental health possible. He could not handle his emotions because he did not know how to good self-care, and the Akumas caused him to repress his emotions while in Paris. Toxic positivity. He could not let Marinette feel bad about this at all, so he asked someone to pretend to be his girlfriend. He is entitled to his privacy, but needs to process his emotions in some way instead of avoiding. I don't have too much else to say that I haven't already said. For while it is very kind of him to take other people's burdens onto himself, it does not work unless it is mutual, where other people take his burdens onto themselves too. So anyway, thank you for the video and watching it. Sorry I paused a few times during it. I was just taking sips of water. Bye. Talk to you next time.